at an actual application where we see these fractions sort of spiraling around and dancing together. In fact, spiraling around is not a bad phrase, since I'm actually going to put some stuff in a blender, maybe some fractions. So here I go. So I want to make a smoothie for Charisse and Jose. And so I'm going to combine some orange juice, grapefruit, and bananas to produce 10.5 cups. Now, if Charisse wants 2.5 cups of the smoothie and Jose wants 3 3/4 cups, the question is, how much of the smoothie will be left over? So let's think about it. So I've got, here we go, got some orange juice. And inside, now I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I've got some oranges, I've got some grapefruit, even got some bananas. Now remember, we can only combine fractions when they have the same denominator. So these are all fruits, so they're fine for my smoothie. What about the fish? Fish and smoothie? No, because in fact this is not the same type of thing. It doesn't have, in some sense, the same denominator. So we don't want to deal with that. We can only combine things that have the same denominator, sort of like things. So we have to get the same denominator. Fish, out. But the citrus, in. Fruit, good. And then I can make my smoothie. You see, so you put it all in, and I'd make it. Great. So now I've made the smoothie. And how much did I make? Well, we know that I made 10.5 cups. That's how much we have. Now, how much are my friends going to drink? Well, one of them is going to drink 2.5 cups, and the other one is going to drink 3 3/4 cups. And the question is, how much is left over? How are we going to figure this out? Well, first of all, let's figure out how much they both drank collectively. So how much did Charisse and Jose drink? And that's our cue that, in fact, we want to add. So I want to add these two numbers up, and that's how much was drunk. And then what do? I started off with this much, and the sum of these two is what was drunk off. And so if I do a subtraction, I can figure out how much I have left. So let's take a look. We first add these two mixed numbers. So how do we add the mixed numbers? We convert and change them into improper fractions. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5/2, plus 3 times 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15/4. Can't combine them yet. It's like a banana and a fish. I have to get a common denominator first. But now the least common multiple I see is 4. Because all I have to do is multiply the top and the bottom here, so I don't change anything, by a 2, and I'll have a denominator of 4 matching this denominator. So all I've got to do is convert the first fraction. 2 times 5 is 10/4. And then this fraction I keep as is, 15/4. And now the bottoms are the same. There's no fish, so I can just add the tops, and I see 25/4 cups. That's cups. That's how much my friends actually consumed. So, what was the original question, though? We do all that work, and sometimes it's so tempting to say, oh, I'm done. The answer is 25/4. But no, always return back to the original question and say, did we address? Well, here we didn't address. The question was, how much do I have left over? That's how much that was consumed. I started with this much, so how do I know how much I have left over? I start with this. I take away that. What am I left with? Take away is our cue. We want to subtract. So now I have 10.5 to start with, and I want to subtract off the 25/4. So here we are. If we try it, that's a mixed number, so let's convert it. That's 21/2 minus 25/4. Don't have a common denominator yet, but easy enough. I see the 4 and the 2. I just have to multiply the bottom here by a 2 and the top here by a 2, and I'm going to have the common bottom of 4. And so what I see now is 2 times 21 is 42 over 4 minus 25 over 4. And that's going to equal, well, now I've got to take 42 and subtract off 25, and I'm left with 17 over 4, over that common bottom. That's the improper fraction version of how much cups are left. If you want the mixed number version, that would simply be 4 1/4 cups, which is more likely how you'd say it in real life. So I have 4 1/4 cups of my delicious smoothie to enjoy for myself or with other friends. But the point is, by thinking through those words and converting them to math, and then using all the manipulation we've discussed with fractions, we're able to figure out exactly how much I got. I'll see you soon.